Lucien. From his seat in fair Calais, city of the 8 spires, the emperor in Noria rules through his red gold council. Named for the seals of true orichalcum on each of their seats, the red gold council has 10 and 9 members separated into the upper and lower councils. The red gold's 5 most important members are the Grand Magister, Magister of War, Magister of Metal, Temple Patriarch, and Royal Inquisitor, who collectively make up the Emperor's right hand. From Xenthius Tubercio's The Norian Way, Book 2, Chapter 4, Sections 3-6. From the west came 2 riders, hounded by a windstorm. Powerlessly the young lord watched them from the window of his bedchamber, that which had once been his father's. Were the true Lord Merula to perish beneath the walls of Green Navria, then Lord Lucian's they would remain until he too bowed his neck to meet the chain of gem-cheeked Sortira. For now, though, it was his. He had been taking a break from the ledgers and scrolls cluttering his desk, court records and histories in equal measure, when he had first spotted them beneath a sky quickly turning the color of oranges ready for the picking. Their horses were sleek, well fed too, bred for riding. Not only that, but whereas most crossed the great bridge without stopping, these 2 were paused halfway, whereupon the shorter of the 2 extended a hand and gestured to the vista atop their black palfrey, like the poets of old. Such small packs, Lucien puzzled, and so late in the day. Messenger, surely, but from how far? He began descending the stairwell to the castle proper. What message would be so sensitive as to permit a rider over a raptor? Lucien thought as he went, and 2 at that. Even if the siege was failed and the emperor a corpse, a raptor's beak would surely carry that message. Cecil, Julianus. Lucien roused the 2 guards stationed at his antechamber from their game. With me. Trouble, my lord? Julianus jumped to his feet. A man of 31, Julianus was too old to be Lucian's brother, too young to be an uncle. Lucien treated him as one all the same. With chance, Lucien waved him back to his seat. It seems you're today to be my lictors. Legate Whisker too, if we can find them quickly. From my chambers I spotted some riders crossing the Great Bridge. That they came here so late suggests they are foreigners, but that they came here at all suggests not. They aren't nightmen. That much is clear by their horses' breed. Asylum seekers, then? Julianus asked. Lucien shook his head. Clearly not. They stopped on the bridge. Julianus scratched his chin. Would my lord then have me alert Eli to ready 2 spots at the stable? Good call. Lucien nodded. Alert him at once. As you wish. Julianus put a fist over his heart. Lord Lucien? Before he could take a step, though, Cecil burst out laughing. Cecil lifted Julianus's longsword from its place against the wall. Think to defend our lord with just your fists? Julianus's expression grew beet red. Yes, I was actually. With fists and courage. Cecil tossed Julianus's sword. Lucien sighed once Julianus had left. Even after 2 years, he still calls me lord. Don't blame him. Cecil fingered his mustache and smirked. I'd be nervous too if I just won myself a week's worth of nighttime watch. Lucien shook his head, trying to hide a slight smile. Again with the gambling? Tavli isn't just dice. Cecil shrugged with both arms. And besides, we're not doing it for money, just like you asked. Ready yourself regardless, Lucien ordered. Who knows what guests we keep waiting below? Down in the great hall, Lucien sent Cecil, Rubefair, and 2 more of the household guard to escort the visitors in. When they entered, they would first see Lucien, seated on his great stone chair with its Master of Blackbirds motif. Above would loom a great banner emblazoned with the Meruli sigil, a blackbird flying between a star and mountain on a midnight blue sky. To its left hung that of their liege the Aedonites, a chiastic array of nightingales and eucalyptus trees on a sanguine field. To its right hung the banner of their common lord, the Authorid mask, half red and half white. Beside it, the 2-headed grips of the Empire in Noria. It had always been a strange symbol to Lucien. While some of the Empire's noble clans took as their symbols beasts that tread the earth or had once tread, by all accounts the 2-headed grips was fiction born and fiction raised. Its form, a winged lion with one each of a snake's and hawk's head, was the composite of 2 ancient yet distinct symbols, the winged lion of Calais and the mating hawk and snake of old Myconaya. Put side by side, it seemed to Lucien that the grips was itself trying to wear the mask. Though who it was trying to fool, Lucien hardly knew. Beneath the banners and time-blackened rafters, dinner was almost ready to be served. While the hall could comfortably seat 50, 2 from 20 pristine redware plates from old Elon had been set out. By them stood matching bowls and cups, as well as 2 large craters for mixing wine. No doubt someone had let slip to Amnia that Iroh had returned. Too few, Lucien eyed the plates. Whoever they are, we ought not to let them go unfed. Mounted on the pillars beside the table rested 2 final symbols of the Maruli. The first was a gnarled staff said to be owned by the wandering rhapsode Cassius Marula. The second was a plaque meant to house Fatal Vision, a reworked orichalcum shortsword passed down the Marula line for 3 long centuries. In its place was a lyre. Lucien thought it ought to be filled with something. The march of footsteps drew Lucien to the door. There Cecil, Julianus, Rubifer, and 3 more of the household guard led the 2 riders in. The first, crane tall and panther sleek, seemed a man of about 50. Despite this, there was a strange tightness about him, only accentuated by the lone black glove over his left hand and his strangely bluish eyes. Lucien had never seen him before. Whereas the first man seemed a black swan, a brawler's body had the second, short, stocky, and hairy as a boar. The years had doubly worn his craggy face, its odd contours half hidden by a budding beard. Beneath a hair of curly hair, dissatisfaction glowered in a pair of flint-grey eyes. Lucien at once fell to a knee. "Your presence honors us, your highness." "Prince of beasts, Lucien." The man's grin was mirth. "Rise, friend, rise." Lucien rose. "Your highness, what brings you here without notice? Is this your guard or some courtier of yours?" "Hardly." The shorter man snorted and jabbed a thumb behind him. "This here is—" Before he could finish, Iroh, quickly followed by Fortuna, entered the great hall. "Edmund?" Iroh's eyes grew wide before he fell to a knee in turn. "I mean, your highness, it is an honor to be in your austere presence." Prince Edmund Adon Otho sighed. "Not you two, Iroh. Oh, and the Dettian of Whisker. How incredible it is to find you here, Fortuna." Fortuna placed a hand against their heart, yet fell short of a full salute. Edmund. "Charmed." Edmund raised his hand in acknowledgement. "At ease, my friends, at ease." "Wait." Iroh eyed the prince's companion. "You?" "Your eyes do not betray you." The man's voice was a winter stream. "We met in the Alabastron's halls, Iroh of the Maruli. Call me Eganhand, the Emperor's nail, and 10th and 8th of the Red Gold Council. I am here to watch over the prince and the crown's endeavors." The Red Gold? That gave Lucien pause. While Edmund alone could mean many things, a member of the Red Gold meant only one. "But come," Edmund opened his arms wide. "Too long it's been, my dear friends. What's it been, 10 and 3 years? 10 and 3 years ago, you were my father's ward, and destined to wed our younger sister," Lucien replied. "Now you are prince to the Empire in Noria, son of a god and lord over the earth." Edmund ground a palm against his chin. "Tychon Otho is just a man, and if he's just a man, I'm just a boy." And nevertheless fourth in line to the throne. Edmund sighed. "So it might seem. Tell me, Lucien, where's Canta?" Fortuna scoffed, probably lording over the gardens with her familiar Megaira. "Or with her nose buried in a pile of scrolls," Lucien posed. "Fortuna, mind fetching her, would you? I think she would be most delighted to see that Edmund has returned to us." "With honor, Lucien." Fortuna bowed and left. As they did, Iroh's gaze followed before flashing back to Eganhand. "This place is drearier than I remember." Edmund approached the plaque accustomed to holding the Maruli's ancestral sword. "Tell me, Lucien, have you wed?" "Wed?" Lucien paused. "Is that what he came here for?" "A few names have been put forth," Lucien confessed. "The daughters of Lords Volp and Sergius, once they come of age. The daughter of Lord Helster too, perhaps." "She's married," Iroh replied, "to Lord Geralt Megarion, the Emperor's left leg and Magister of Hunt." "Really?" Lucien turned to his brother. "When?" "A couple months ago," Iroh replied curtly, "right before the campaign began. Perhaps our Lord Father has stayed his hand too long." "And while you've joined the August Order of Rooks," Edmund grinned to Iroh. "And to think you spent 4 whole years living under my nose." Lucien turned to Edmund, then Iroh, then back, blinking. "The House of Wisdom has 7 pillars," Iroh bowed, "and we each have ours to study." Edmund laughed. "Well, I wouldn't call what I was doing studying." "Perhaps not." A brief smile flashed across Iroh's face. "What brings you here?" In time, Edmund batted him away. We have dinner for that. Say, is Amnia still with us? I'm sure she could whip up one of those honey clouds you and I always enjoyed as children. So soon to when we might eat, Lucien nevertheless signaled to one of the guards. I'll see what can be done. My, you're generous. Edmund came forward and embraced Lucien. I've missed you. Lucien's arm clasped around him briefly in turn. And you, my prince. Now, let's get you two cleansed. As Lord of Castle Ravencroft, I ought to seek justice in all things, and I fear that storm is coming our way.